Today is one of the days that we're waiting for. Shiba Inu is finally slowly recovering. Whales are finally back. Millions are moving slowly quickly. We might see the 1 cent dream next week. And it's not stopping soon. What is happening? And what on earth am I even talking about? Well, let me explain. Disclaimer. Something big just dropped today. The whales just shook the entire Shiba Inu community. I mean, it really shook it. Massive moves were made. Like game-changing level moves. And it's sending a huge signal about what's coming next for Shiba Inu. We're not talking about minor wallet shuffles here. This was the kind of shift that screams, something big is brewing. And here's what's wild. It's not just the whales making noise. Right now, Shiba Inu just hit some pretty major milestones. The kind that makes you sit up and go, wait a minute, is Shiba Inu really back? Yeah, it looks like the comeback is already in motion. And if this momentum keeps building like this, it could actually eat a few zeros off the price. Some people are even starting to whisper about the 1 cent dream again. Crazy? Maybe not. But hold on, because there's more. You might be wondering, okay, that's great, but is the chart already reacting to this? Well, one analyst just broke it down, and what he said might give you chills. According to him, Shiba Inu is coiling. Quietly, tightly, inside a massive symmetrical triangle. Think of it like a spring being pushed down harder and harder at some point. It's going to snap. And when it does, the breakout could be explosive, like up to 17 times its current range. That kind of move doesn't happen randomly. That's how parabolic runs begin. And that's exactly what this setup is pointing to. Not noise. Not hype. Just raw technical energy getting ready to blow. So what just happened? Shiba Inu whale activity has gone absolutely through the roof, signaling that the biggest players are quietly piling back in. Over the past month, wallets that hold more than 1% of the entire Shiba Inu supply ramped up their purchases by a mind-blowing factor. Think dozens of times more than usual, with net flows surging by nearly 30-fold. On-chain data even showed these giants snapping up nearly 2 trillion tokens in a single stretch, marking a daily buying spree that was 4 times larger than what we normally see. That kind of relentless accumulation tells you one thing. Smart money is getting back on board, and they're more confident than ever. Remember back in early 2023 when renewed whale action fueled a massive breakout, sending Shiba Inu soaring by roughly 3 times its value? Well, the stage is set for a repeat of that move. If history holds, Shiba Inu could very well aim to reclaim its highs from earlier this year, levels that represented more than double today's trading range. With whales continuing to stack up tokens and bullish chart patterns forming beneath the surface, the big players are clearly gearing up for another epic run. Will Shiba Inu scale those heights again? All signs are pointing to yes. Keep your eyes peeled. This could be the start of something huge. And here's the thing. According to another analyst, the situation just got even more intense. Based on the latest data from Into the Block, the concentration of Shiba Inu held by large wallets, aka the whales, has now hit a staggering 74%. That means nearly 3/4 of all Shiba Inu out there is sitting in the hands of just a few massive holders. These aren't just random wallets either. These are addresses that either own at least 1% of the supply, or have been holding heavy bags of Shiba Inu for a long time. Now, what does that really mean? It means these whales aren't just playing around, they're betting big. When this kind of concentrated ownership shows up, it's usually not by accident. It's serious money, with serious conviction. They're loading up now because they believe the price is going to explode, and soon. And when retail investors aren't rushing in just yet, that's even more interesting. Because this phase, this is when the whales accumulate quietly, before the frenzy, before the crowd catches on. Once the hype kicks in, that's when retail piles in. And by then, the whales are already sitting pretty. This kind of setup is exciting, like really exciting. Why? Because we've seen this story before. Back in 2023, this exact same played out. Whales started building massive positions, quiet buying, rising concentration. And then, boom! The price exploded with a breakout that pushed Shiba Inu up 300% in a matter of weeks. It went from calm to chaos in the blink of an eye. And the people paid attention early? They were the ones who made the biggest gains. And now here we are again, with the exact same signals flashing. So yeah, it's fair to say, Shiba Inu is officially in that dangerous stage. The calm before the storm kind of zone. The kind where you either sleep on it and miss the rocket, or you strap in and ride it before the crowd even sees the launch. Who knows? If this energy keeps building the way it is, if these whales keep pushing this hard, we might even see the 1 cent dream come alive way sooner than expected. Maybe even as early as next week. Sounds crazy? Maybe. But in crypto, the craziest moves usually come when nobody's ready. And we can already see the hype building. Shiba Inu has just made a legendary comeback, shooting right back into the top 20 cryptocurrencies by market cap, according to CoinMarketCap. That's a big deal. Just last week it dipped out of the top 20, but now it's back, and it came back swinging. That kind of move doesn't happen by accident. It shows that momentum is shifting fast. But here's what's even more interesting. This comeback isn't happening in isolation. Ethereum's rally lately hasn't just been about Ethereum. It's dragging the rest of the market with it, especially the meme coin space. And at the top of that pack, Shiba Inu. Because Shiba Inu is built entirely on the Ethereum network, it's naturally tied to it. So whenever Ethereum pumps, Shiba Inu tends to feel the lift, hard. Now, even though there hasn't been a major Shiba Inu specific announcement to spark this latest price action, the environment around it has completely changed. People are excited again. The appetite for risk is coming back to life. And in crypto, when that spark returns, meme coins often catch fire faster than anything else. That's the zone Shiba Inu is in right now. It's not just about utility or fundamentals. It's about momentum, sentiment, and smart money getting ahead of the next wave. The whales know it, the analysts see it, the charts are coiling, and now the hype is kicking. You add all of that together. Whale accumulation skyrocketing, ownership concentration climbing, historical breakout patterns forming, Ethereum pushing the entire market up, and Shiba Inu surging back into the spotlight. And what you get is a perfect storm. It's feeling a lot like early 2023 again, right before Shiba Inu went on that monster run. The excitement is real, the setup is explosive, and this might just be the beginning. And even looking at the long term, Shiba Inu is looking bright, really bright. Right now, Shiba Inu is once again trying to pull off what traders call an on-zero breakthrough. That basically means it's attempting to climb above a critical price barrier without the usual heavy volume backing it. It's like trying to push a car uphill with just a light breeze. Technically possible, but extremely rare unless more force kicks in. Specifically, Shiba Inu is flirting with a key resistance level, sitting just under a psychological price wall. It's teasing that line, nudging against it, trying to break through, but here's the thing. The volume just isn't quite there yet. And history tells us that these types of breakouts, the ones that happen without strong trade, they often look promising at first, only to fall back just as quickly. But does that mean we're bearish? Not at all. Because while this current push might seem soft, it's actually happening in a very strategic position on the chart. On the daily time frame, Shiba Inu has already made a strong recovery from its recent correction. That dip? It shook out the weak hands. What's left now are the believers, the smart money, and the whales, who are still very much accumulating. While the volume might be low right now, everything else is lining up. And that's often how breakouts begin. Slow, steady pressure, then suddenly boom. If Shiba Inu does manage to punch through this current resistance, and if that triggers real momentum and a flood of volume like we've seen during past bull cycles, it could light the fuse for a much bigger move. We're not just talking about a small rally. We're talking about the potential start of another massive climb. Because once that resistance gets taken out cleanly, there really aren't many obstacles left on the path toward higher levels. And if the whales keep stacking, the chart keeps tightening, and Ethereum keeps pulling the market upward, we could be looking at Shiba Inu moving into a zone where the 1 cent dream isn't just fantasy, it's a target. Think about it. The infrastructure is stronger now. The community is bigger. The sentiment is shifting. The charts are waking up. And while the short-term move might look quiet, all the long-term signals are starting to flash green. If things keep aligning like this, if volume kicks in, if the resistance breaks, and if confidence returns, there's a real shot that we start marching toward that magic 1 cent level. Maybe not overnight, maybe not tomorrow, but in crypto, things change fast. And right now, Shiba Inu looks like it's on the edge of something massive. So don't blink. The road to 1 cent might already be unfolding right in front of us. But what is your opinion on this? Comment down below. If you are curious to find more, then make sure to click on one of the videos you see.
Whales cannot be stopped. Trillions of Shiba Inu tokens, hundreds of millions of dollars. And the data suggests that this is just the beginning. People are waking up seeing these numbers trying to benefit from this opportunity. But what is actually happening? And how long will this market craze last? Well, let's find out. Disclaimer: the market has pivoted to a recovery phase, but some altcoins still haven't reclaimed their yearly highs despite Bitcoin spiking above the $71,000 threshold. Shiba Inu is also part of this recovery trend, but is facing strong resistance due to multiple sell walls. A sell wall occurs when a large number of sell orders are placed at a particular price level. creating a barrier that can be difficult for the price to rise above 4. Example, imagine there are 100 Shiba Inu tokens available for sale at 1 penny. If buyers only want to purchase 50 zero tokens at that price, the supply at that level is much higher than that demand, making it hard for the market to buy the tokens that are available at that price to move up past 1 penny. However, there is a way we can surpass these sell walls and achieve new highs for Shiba Inu. But before we dive into that, we need to take a look at what's happening with Bitcoin today. Has been a literally crazy day for Bitcoin, and its impact on Shiba Inu is enormous. Spot Bitcoin exchange traded funds, or ETFs, have achieved their longest streak of consecutive net inflows since they launched, with 18 straight days of positive flows as of Thursday. Since launching in January 2021, the price of Shiba Inu has increased by $1.2 billion, and even though the current inflows are still lower than the peak levels in March, according to the block's data dashboard, the sustained positive net inflows, especially driven by BlackRock, highlight continued strong interest and confidence in Bitcoin among investors. 18 days in a row of positive inflows definitely gives us a bullish sign. It shows that more and more investors are putting their money into crypto, which is some very good news for any crypto enthusiast. But traditional investors aren't the only ones accumulating Bitcoin. Just take a look at this crypto whale. According to a report by Wu Blockchain based on research from CryptoQuant, around $1 billion worth of Bitcoin is being added every day to a massive new whale wallet. In total, long-term holders have amassed 70 zero Bitcoin over the last 30 days, with whale demand increasing at a rate of 4.4% per month. And now you might be wondering if 4.4 is a big number. It definitely is. To put it in perspective, if you start with $10,000 and add 4.4% every month in 5 years, you'd have a lot more than you might expect after 5 years. That 10,000 would grow to around $87,000. This shows how powerful a 4.4% monthly increase can be over time, highlighting the significant impact of the current whale demand on Bitcoin's market. But in addition to that, just today, according to CoinGlass data, Bitcoin open interest has reached a new all-time high peak of $37 billion open. Interest refers to the total dollar amount of Bitcoin in the last 5 years, which is about a third of the total dollar amount of outstanding Bitcoin futures or options contracts. And you might be wondering, is this metric important? Absolutely. Open interest is a crucial indicator of market sentiment and activity in the futures and options markets. A high level of open interest suggests that there is significant trading activity and interest in Bitcoin derivatives, indicating a strong and active market. So while some may have thought that the crypto market is flat and boring right now, it actually isn't. The record-breaking open interest is a significant indicator of the market, and Bitcoin futures and options demonstrates that there is still plenty of excitement and activity happening in the crypto space. But here's something very interesting. Despite the strong inflows and a Bitcoin rally past 71.0, Google Trends data reveals a surprising trend. Compared to 2021, hardly any Americans are conducting searches related to Bitcoin, FSITs, price, or crypto in general. Google Trends assigns a value out of 100 based on a search interest relative peak popularity. For example, on June 5, searches for Bitcoin originating from the US scored only 31, while Bitcoin ETF had a mere 1. Other related searches such as Bitcoin price and crypto received slightly higher index scores of 18 and 13 respectively, but still remained significantly below the search volumes during 2021's retail-driven bull run. Interest in crypto-related searches has dwindled over the year, There were spikes in interest across the board. On January 11th, the price of Bitcoin has been rising for the past year, and the price of Bitcoin has been all-time high for the first time since 2021. It's noteworthy that search interest for Bitcoin peaked in May 2021, a few weeks after surpassing 50,000 for the first time and just before reaching its long-standing all-time high of nearly 69,000 in November 2021. Crypto analyst Miles Dutcher shared data indicating a significant decline in viewership of crypto-related YouTube channels compared to 2021, despite Bitcoin surpassing its previous all-time high in 2021. During Bitcoin's peak, crypto YouTube channels were garnering around 4 million daily views. However, in 2024, despite Bitcoin reaching new highs, daily views have dropped to approximately 800,000. Dutcher emphasized, retail isn't back yet. According to him, there's no better indicator of the current state of the market than crypto YouTube views. This decline in viewership suggests that mainstream retail interest in cryptocurrency has not returned to the level seen during the 2021 bull run, despite Bitcoin's price reaching new heights. But still, with 18 days of Bitcoin ETF inflows and massive whale accumulation, you might wonder, why hasn't the price skyrocketed yet? Where's the impact of these developments? Well, that's a good question. Analyst Jimmy sheds some light on this. He explains that spot Bitcoin ETFs worldwide hold only about 5% of the total Bitcoin circulating supply, while the majority is held by whales. Jimmy notes that while ETF inflows are indeed significant, they are still minimal compared to the volume of Bitcoin being traded and sold by these large holders. He emphasizes that for every buyer in the market, there needs to be a seller, and the actions of these major players can heavily influence price movements. Even though the price might not react immediately, the recent developments such as 18 consecutive days of inflows into Bitcoin, ETFs, and whales accumulating Bitcoin are still considered bullish. This is because these actions demonstrate a growing interest and confidence in Bitcoin as an asset class among both institutional investors and individual traders. While the price might not reflect these developments right away due to various factors influencing the market, such as short-term speculation and profit-taking, the underlying trend indicates a strengthening foundation for Bitcoin's long-term growth. Essentially, these actions lay the groundwork for future price increases. In the long term, the price of Bitcoin is expected to rise to $1.5 billion, which is a significant increase in the market's day-to-day fluctuations. But what about Shiba Inu? Well, if Bitcoin experiences a significant price increase due to recent developments, it will have a massive impact on Shiba Inu. We know that Shiba Inu is highly sensitive to Bitcoin movements and shares a strong correlation with it. Currently, Shiba Inu faces a major obstacle in the form of a massive sell wall, according to Into the Block data. This wall represents a threshold. We're over the top. Over 64,000 addresses collectively hold 69 trillion Shiba Inu tokens, which is over 10% of the entire supply. The selling pressure from these addresses often leads to corrections in Shiba Inu's price, as we've seen in recent movements. As a result, Shiba Inu has retraced most of the gains it made during the recent rally. This situation can be frustrating for Shiba Inu investors, as the presence of such a large sell wall can impede its upward momentum. However, Shiba Inu is now aiming to sell Shiba Inu, stabilize above its current price level, and use it as a foundation for a second upward push when bullish sentiment returns. To surpass this immediate sell wall, Shiba Inu would need to confidently close above 4027. But with the potential upcoming push in Bitcoin's price, according to previous patterns, this should significantly benefit Shiba Inu. This is precisely what we need for Shiba Inu to overcome its current challenges and resume its upward trajectory. But what is your opinion on that? Comment down below. I'd be eager to read your opinion. If you are curious to find more, then make sure to click on one of the videos you see on screen. And with that, we come to the end of this video. If you enjoyed the video, then please like this video and don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section. This really helps me with the YouTube algorithm. Also, please share this video to as many people as possible. Let's get this news out there.